This is one of those silly things. Hopefully you can see the sky, how gorgeous it is. And it's just starting to rain. And it's been doing this so far all day today, where it's like, if I close the boat up when it rains, the sun's out, it gets really hot. But if I leave it open, everything in the boat's gonna get wet. So today is a day of unpleasant surprises. This leak has gotten really bad. Now it's raining pretty hard, but you know, I feel like it's been getting worse. And I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have to take. The good news is it's coming in around, so it's the mast, the tape on the mast that is not. So hopefully I can redo that and get it to stop leaking, because that's a mess. One of the things about this is I've seen other people who are doing this kind of thing, and it's really hard to really capture a lot of aspects on video. They get lost. And what I'm trying to capture right now is how just relentlessly bumpy it has been. This is day 2 of this crappy on and off rain, gusty, unpredictable winds kind of weather. Hopefully you can hear the wind rise and fall in the background. I'm thinking aiming out the back, maybe. Well, see, now the boat stopped swinging. You can see the ropes swinging, gives a little bit idea of how much it's, you know, that one's being blown by the wind a little bit. And now you can see I'm starting to swing off to the right, because the wind is not coming from a consistent direction. It changes angle a little bit every few minutes. And the boat swings one way and the other way and the other way, in addition to the fact that it's bumping a bit. Sailors may notice this. A lot of people may not see what's wrong here. You see, my boat is pointing roughly northeast, and these other boats are pointing pretty directly east. You see that guy is pointing more or less east. I'm pretty sure the reason for this is, I'm pretty sure I'm on the bottom. The wind swung around to the north at some point earlier this morning, and now it's swung back to the east, but my boat did not swing back to the east. So I think when it swung me around, I hit a shallow spot, which is surprising to me, because I drove around and sounded this out and didn't see anywhere shallow enough that I would hit bottom. And I'm just barely on the bottom. I mean, the boat, you can feel it bouncing up and down. The boat doesn't move, but it's not rocking either, which means it's still mostly buoyant. So I'm not worried at this point. First of all, it's about 2 hours past low tide. So my first thought on this is hoping that when high tide comes around, it'll lift me off and then I'll float free. So yeah, so the water here is just deep enough that at low tide I kind of get stuck on the bottom, and then because it's not even high tide yet and I'm already broke loose and swinging again. So I mean, it must be just shallow enough for me to touch bottom when the tide is at its lowest. But I got up this morning because there's almost no wind now. The original plan was to put the jib up, and then I had that little thing where I was stuck on the bottom, which meant that the tiny little bit of wind that I did have was coming out the side, which makes it impossible to install the jib. So I was going to go to shore and just go for a walk and, you know, get off the boat for a little while. And I noticed the boat started swinging again. So I quickly grabbed and managed to get the jib up all by myself. Unfortunately, because it got so rushed, I forgot to set the camera, and I even got the mount for the camera like permanently, not really permanently, but semi-permanently attached here. And I could have but I forgot. So you didn't get to see the shenanigans that are involved with installing a jib on a 37-foot sailboat solo, which I think is very sad, because it was mildly ridiculous. So given how sunny it is, you may be going, how on earth am I only generating 27 watts off of these panels? It's going up a little bit. It's bouncing all over the place. I'll tell you why. This is something I knew was a problem, but I thought would never happen on this particular installation. I'm getting shading problems. Here you can see where the boom, not the boom, the mast. The boom is back here. It's not going to shade. See, I was worried. People talk about the boom shading. I'm like, the boom can't shade these panels. They're way back here. Well, the sun is that way, and the wind is directing us this way. So here is the shade from the mast, and if we go back down, we'll see they're probably generating a lot of power, but here it comes. It is now moved over, it's shading this panel, which, because these are run in series, is hurting both panels. I thought they were far enough back on the boat that this wouldn't be an issue. And in my defense, statistically, I mean, what are the odds of the sun being directly upwind from me at any point in time? Well, apparently better than I realized, because I'm not getting crap for power, except rare occasions when the boat swings just a little bit out of the way.